Hi, I'm Paul from Production Expert. Today I'm going to explain compression, attack and release times. I'm going to explain it by using these things, which are egg shakers. Now, the reason why egg shakers are so great at demonstrating attack and release times in a compressor is because the way that I'm going to play it is with two different dynamics. I'm going to play the initial and then, so all together. And then we're going to load a compressor inside the DAW and bring up the different parts by adjusting the attack and release times. So let's get to it. First of all, let's record the shaker part. So now we've recorded the shaker, let's load up a compressor. Now this is a Wave CLA76, which is an emulation of an 1176. Now there's a couple of quirks about an 1176 style compressor that I just should explain first. First of all, the attack and release controls are, in some people's mind, round the wrong way. So the attack is fastest all the way to the right and slowest to the left. And the same with the release, fastest to the right, slowest to the left. And also the threshold is affected by the input. So let me just show you that. As opposed to some other compressors where you'd set the threshold and lower it to the point where the compressor starts to work. Now for this purpose, I'm going to try and set the compressor up so we're compressing by between 7 to 10 dBs worth of compression. So let's set the compressor up to do that, and I'm going to adjust the input. Now if I bypass the plugin, you'll see that it's added a lot of gain to it. So let's compensate with the output. And there's just about right. Now let's see what happens if I turn the attack from slowest to fastest. That's slowest. And now fastest. As you can hear, the initial transient of the loud shake gets squashed completely when the attack's at its fastest. And it's almost like the entire transient comes through at the slowest. So what we need to do is to set the attack up so it lets the desired amount of the transient through. Let's do that. Now for this, about halfway is right for me. Now let's have a look at the release. If I turn the release to its slowest position, look at the VU on the compressor. So the needle of the compressor is not being allowed to return to the 0 position. So now let's set it so the release is at its fastest. Okay, this has really sorted the dynamics out. So now we've got the loud and the soft parts, more or less the same sort of volume. But to my ears, it's slightly distorted. So let's bring the release back. And let's bypass the compressor. So as you can hear with this one, the initial loud transient is so much louder than the softer ones. And now bring it in. Now I think I want to increase the attack just a little bit more, just make it a bit faster. And bypass it. So to me, this is the optimum setting, where the quiet parts are nearly as loud as the loud parts. Now let's see what happens if I bring the attack all the way back to its slowest. You can see the quiet parts are now louder than the initial hard transient. And adjust it again. Let's put the attack on fastest. Now when the attack's on fastest, it's squashing that initial transient. And let's take the release back. So for this purpose, this compressor setting is pointless. What we're basically doing there is compressing from minus 7 dB to about minus 10 dB. So we're only getting about 3 dBs worth of compression. So the needle is not being allowed to return back to the 0 position. So we're not getting that full 7 to 10 dBs worth of compression. And it almost sounds like we're not actually compressing at all. Now let's make the release fast again. And there's about right. So let's go over some of the points here. So fast release, slow attack brings up the quieter shakes and brings down the loud parts. Fast release and fast attack squashes the transient too much. Now slow release and fast attack is pretty pointless in this situation as it's not letting the compressor return to the 0 point. So now let's try the same thing using the Builtin Shooting One compressor. So with this one I need to bring the threshold down so we are compressing about the same. And let's bypass. And let's compensate with the gain. Okay, so let's have a look at the attack here. Now, what's different between this and the 1176 style compressor is fastest attack is to the left and slowest attack now is to the right. So let's hear that again. So fastest attack squashes the transient. Slow attack lets all the transient through. Fast release really evens out the sound on this compressor, but almost to the point where it's not really usable. And slow release is basically doing nothing. So I really hope that helps in setting up attack and release times. I do recommend you practice with a shaker or something with similar sort of transients. It really does help honing in your attack and release times. So I'm Paul from Studio One Expert. I really hope that's helped, and I'll see you guys next time.